G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got people have been requesting how I go about putting or starting a Trident root over rock, or any root over rock I guess. Now I do have one tree that has potential to go on a rock. I'm still growing lots more Tridents to be able to grow them on rocks, etc. But this one I think actually I'm going to have a look, make sure it is okay. So I'm going to have a look at today. First, what I wanted to do is I want to show you maybe a rock that we could use. This isn't a nice one I've had a while. It's a bit heavy, but it's okay. It's got some nice cuts and crevices and colours and so on. This area is kind of not attractive at all, but I think this area is nice and attractive. Here's something in here. If that looks too flat and boring, but something around there is a nice front. So if we can use something as a front, I'm thinking put a tree sitting on over here, try and get the roots into this crevice, which is going to be hard because it's a bit concave. So we're going to try put a tree here, put the roots down here around the back, maybe two around the front, 2 or 3 around the front, maybe one following this line here around there if we can. So you got to kind of plan out your ideas. So one around there, one around there, one maybe on this angle, and one at the back. If I've got 4, one around the back, that will just hold the tree in its place. So that's a nice rock I want to use. It's a really good one actually. I've got a few others, but I think that's the most interesting. I've got a piece of granite, a bit more boring, but it's a nice little bit of a rock, but uninteresting. No, it's not as cool. That's the better rock. So what you're looking for is a tree like this, which I've had a look and I can probably use it. Probably. So we're going to try and have a look. Because what you want to see, this is just a Trident. Don't worry about this just yet, but you'll see that it's got some roots in here. So it's got a nice high one here, got a small one in here, got a couple at the back that look okay. Actually, maybe 2 at the back that look nice and long. So potentially 1, 2, probably 4 there, which is probably what I wanted. Maybe they're a little small, but we're going to give it a go. But what you can probably see is this huge taproot. So whilst this tree's been going strong and getting strong, it's got this taproot which is not going to work. So first thing first, I have to get rid of that. So I'm going to take it off there first so I can assess what else we can look at. So it's still quite a heavy taproot. There's a nice root here, but then everything else is going to be too high. So I think we've got to come back even more. So there's a nice little one more I have to develop over time, but okay, I'm going to come back all the way to there. Okay, so now I have a nice, maybe one small one, which would have been better, one very thin one, which probably have to grow on, a nice 1, 2, 3 at least that are very nice and solid. So that's good news. So I was mentioning that I need at least 3 to do that. I'm just going to cut this back a little more. Okay, there we go. So, let me move this out of the way. I don't need this anymore just for now. So now I've got these nice long roots. At least these 2 are really good. A third one that's not bad. So these can probably work with the tree. So let's have a look with this rock. Can it work? So, I'd like the tree to come back this way though. So that's the trick. So if I plant it like that, the tree's kind of going the other way, which isn't going to be the best. So maybe you got to put the roots this way. These 2 roots will have to eventually form the base. You probably have to go a bit lower, somewhere around there. That's not too bad like that actually. See, that kind of fits nice and snug in there. This root probably will get it wide down into there. Oh yeah, I'll have to show you how I do that, but I'm just saying, just talking to myself, one goes really well along there, I think. One goes down there. We're going to have to work on this, developing this. Probably can't see it, but a very small one in here. And I've got a nice big strong one at the back. They'll hold the tree. Got 2 strong ones at the back, so I might be able to work something out with those. Yeah, good. I think we're going to be good. I just want to make sure it's nice and zoomed up so you guys can see. So I kind of got the idea there. I'm going to zoom in a bit closer. So again, don't worry about the top. Don't worry about all this, because that doesn't matter. It's about this. So I've got a nice little angle in there at the moment. That's nice along there. I have to make that nice and tight. Actually forms a really nice movement around that trunk. This one we're going to have to work on. Get it down as well. Down, because what's going to happen is this will be buried anyway. This will be, and I'll show you what we do. There's a nice one at the back. A nice big grit at the back that will hold the whole surface hopefully all together. And then there's this one in the air kind of thing, but I'm thinking I can twist that around and maybe put it around there as well. And this little small one, maybe we can just wire it down under this. So I've probably got 5 that I can wire and cling to the rock. So we're going to work on that. So now I need wire. That's how I do mine. So I just use 1.5 aluminium usually. Now this is the tricky bit, I guess. Always have a nice deep breath because I want to get these right. So I usually start, so I'm not fussed at how this all looks just yet. So I need to anchor it somewhere. So I kind of anchor the tree, tie it at the back. All right, now I can actually just use this and make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't move. Then I can just use this to tighten around my tree as I do it, as I position it. So get it nice and tight. So I want to make sure I press it as much as I can against the rock. So I'm just trying to press as much as I can. I probably have to really push that in a bit more. So holding that down, holding that down, holding that down. Probably have to move that a little bit there. So if you use 1.5 is pretty good aluminium. You could use heavier, but I think this is okay for this tree. So I'm going to move this guy around into here. So as I say, it's a bit tricky, but you'll see why it's tricky. I'm just going to go around. And you've got to work kind of reasonably fast, unfortunately, because otherwise the tree tends to dry out. So I think this wrap here is the most important. So I'm just trying to get it spot on so that I can just adjust slightly. And I don't have to worry about the tree too much after that. So I'm pretty happy with that actually. Sorry, I'm just concentrating, guys, so you can see why. It's a little tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it looks pretty good. Okay, that's the hardest bit done, I think, is getting the initial positioning or initial wire on. So now I'll just make sure I press everything together. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm just going to check the camera. Yeah, it's not too bad if I hold it here. So you can see that that's been wired there. It's kind of tight, but not tight as much as I like, but it's okay. And I've got another wire holding that little bit down there. Got this root being pressed again there. So keep going around. These are nice forming. Probably have to move that one slightly that way so you can tweak things now and then adjust some of the wire. So there you go, see how we adjusted, and that's all nice. They're two in here. I'll just have to grow this nice. That one's come down into here. I've got that very fine one in here. Got this one at the back. that will just be holding the back, and I'm going to loop it all around. So now I'll pretty much put all the roots underneath the rock, and that's ready to go. Now usually get a nice deep pot, right, and really just bury it. So it's pretty much just burying it in. Yeah, so just let me go get some. Let me just check that. I'm just going to give it a little spray of water, just to keep those roots wet, and then I'll be back. All right, so you can see nice and healthy roots after I've made nice and wet. So let's just tuck those in underneath. Pretty much a bit of soil at the base. Make sure it's all good. Now pretty much once I fill this right up, and I'm talking about, you won't even know there's a rock there unless you lift it because it's so heavy. Now pretty much I won't touch this for, I reckon 2 seasons. I just want to pretty much ignore it and just hope that all that fuses well together, the roots grow, they fuse together, and off they go. So that's it. And you can't even see the rock, probably just see it. I think I'm zoomed in too far, but you can just see the top of it. Maybe that will just be the indicator for me that there's a rock there. As I said, you could do that. You can also, other alternative is to put it in the ground. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you, so that's that one done. Now I've got another one that I've just taken out of a pot. And let's have a look. It hasn't really set just yet. But now we want to make sure. What I want to do is actually, I'm going to put this tree in the ground to speed up its growth, because I think I want to rewire some of these roots, because you can see they've come off a little. Now it's not bad, it's kind of forming, hitting, staying on this root, but it's not as tight as I'd like. So, and I want to speed up the process. So I'm just going to make sure I re-tie this up. Probably need to get. See, this root's come a bit loose, so I'm going to have to just tie that all back up. Now, by putting this in the ground, it should speed up the process a bit more. As I said, I could put that one in, but maybe next year. Give it 1 year in a pot, I think. So that's pretty much all it needs, just that one. Everything else looks pretty solid. There's a nice one at the back. There's a couple here. This one would just need to be pressed down a bit more. So I might put another small one around it, the top, actually. Try and get him pushed down, right down. Just try and get him pushed down. So you can see start to form those nice roots going around the rock, but it's got a long way to go because this is a long, tall rock. So probably not the best, but we will attempt. Actually, I've just realised I'd probably have to put wire on these ones as well. Lucky I checked. So now we just want to, this is very important obviously. Let's comb some of these roots out. Yeah, I'm going to put this in the ground for sure. So now where's my wire? Oh, where's my wire go? Just like before, I'm just going to try and wrap it around. Just going to do a twist at the back, just to secure the wire. And then if I need any more, I can wrap. That looks pretty solid, but I just want to make sure I get all around down here as well. Yeah, I think that's enough. All right, so now we're going to try that. And now I'm going to put it in the ground and bury it pretty much all the way. And hopefully speed grows really quickly and really starts to really form those roots. And then we actually can pick through which roots we're going to keep, which ones are going to stay on the rock, and so on. So it's quite a long, tall rock, this one. So it might take a lot longer, but it will really look great if we can get it to really fuse nicely. Got this nice root running here, right? Nice one here. I can see some good ones anyway. So they're probably the main ones that are going to form. There's at least 5 in the front, and that's what we're going to work towards. So we'll give that a go. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that in the ground, but that's pretty much it. Now you got to leave them. So that one I'll forget for a year, I reckon. I'll probably leave in that pot for 2 years. I'll see how the growth goes on it. Hopefully it explodes growth, but we'll see. Otherwise, in the next year, probably put it in the ground as well, speed it up. This one goes in the ground for a couple of years, I reckon, and then we'll see what it looks like after that. So it is a long process, but you know, it's you got to have the right stock, right trees, right method to do to get it looking good. But as I said, in the ground should be much quicker to develop. I reckon in 2 years this will be quite a nice little tree. Yeah, so you can imagine this little tree up the top, on the top of the rock right here, maybe coming down over down. I want to probably aim it to come down into here, make a nice little tree out here over the big rock. So you can see, be imaginative, you know, you can come up with some really creative ideas. All right, guys. Anyway, hope that piques your interest and you see that that's a bit of fun. But there you go. Hope you guys can take some confidence in doing this. You just need the right stock pretty much, and the right trees and the right development level of the tree to get it looking good. Yeah, but take your time initially, get the roots in the right place, but you got to have the right roots. Another point. So anyway, I'm just going to put that into the ground. There's the other tree, all done, all dusted. Thanks guys for watching. Hope that was inspiring to you to do your own. Thanks guys, bye.